How's it going, guys? Welcome back to the channel. Hope you're all doing well. So today we've got another episode of our Hardpoint Spots and Rotation series. This will be our final one unless you guys want to see some pub matches. So obviously this is the final Hardpoint CDL or ranked play sort of mode and game. And map, sorry. Basically, if you want to see any other game modes or any other maps, please let me know down below. We could make some S&D or control ones. We'll see though. I do mostly love Hardpoint, but if you guys want to see it, I will put it out if you want to see some tips or any sort of tricks on those maps. But like I said, today we've got some Gavutu, so this is going to be the final one in the Hardpoint series. But basically, going to give you some of the best spots to sit inside of the zone to cap, some of the best out of zone spots, if that makes sense, to sort of cover your teammates whilst they're capping, and also the best rotations to make. So let's get straight into it now, guys. Up first we have P1, which arguably is going to be one of the most important ones on this map, especially basically because it's a really good point. If you can hold it down, it can be hard to push. So some of the best spots are going to be, if you have an AR especially, you can hold down these little head glitches, watch the enemies pushing from that side. You can shoot out this wood as well to make your own little head glitches pretty much throughout the whole place. Obviously, yeah, it's easy to shoot through, but you will be able to make nice little headies through it. And it's the same on pretty much every side. And then, of course, if you're just playing for time, then inside of this middle part here is going to be huge. You know, you can sit in here and hold down different angles. And the same on the other side as well, like so. It's quite a nice one as well. If you can just play like a low angle like this, they're not always going to expect you, but you're still going to be capping the point whilst they're pushing up the stairs, and you can do that from either side as well. Now, some sort of out of zone spots would be playing the outer ring. So if you push up straight off spawn, you're going to be able to sort of play across here, get some cover, and just shoot in, clear it out, and then take it. Or if you do have the point, you can sit out wide on this, and you can just hold down the angles from either spawn, whichever direction they're pushing from. Obviously, you have less cover out here, but it is going to be key to hold it down. And then this little spot here is technically out of zone, so you can sit here, hold down the stairs from either way. It's quite a nice little spot to keep it on lock. P2 is going to be one of the hardest spots to hold in this due to the lack of cover, but honestly playing like a low angle like this, lying down and just watching one of the doors, obviously it's going to be a hard sort of push from whatever direction because they can flank from anywhere. Probably the best spot to cap is going to be on top of this, and if they're pushing from that way, you can hold down this door. If they're pushing through mid, you're going to be able to aim like that, and then you can kind of hold down this angle. Just be warned, if you don't have a teammate up top, then they're going to be able to jump down on top of you. So it is a little bit hectic, but once you go on top of this, you're going to be out of the zone. But let's go on to the out of zone spots. Honestly, anywhere up top, so you can play this back corner like this. You can play this corner and hold down that cliff side. And then one of my favourite little headies is going to be on this here. You can hold down that cliff, and you're going to be a very hard target here. And you can sort of crouch down and watch over there. Doesn't quite work the same on the opposite side, but you can still use it. And then obviously up the top of the boat, you're going to be able to watch the whole map from here and just cover your teammates. And then also a nice spot for P2 is holding down this doorway, and you can just watch anybody flanking over. Obviously you don't have a lot of cover, but it's good for a couple of kills. And then also this little tank here, you can sit on this and just sort of heady from different angles. P3 is also a huge point on this map. Basically, inside of this tank is going to be your generic spot. You can head glitch up to that top point there. I personally, if I'm inside here, I do like to make little hops, just to see if anybody's pushing. And then also playing outer tank as well can be huge, because say somebody's pushing in, they're going to expect you to be in here, but you can be sat here, and then you can take them out, and also from this side. And then this rock as well is pretty nice to play, depending on where the enemy's pushing. You can angle yourself nicely. And then little spots like this, if the enemies are pushing from this direction, then you can just play a real weird little corner like so, or even you can play the close corner. Doesn't quite work on the opposite side, but some out of zone spots. Personally, my favourite one's going to be this rock here, because you can crouch in and out of it. You hold down that top ring point there, hold down anybody pushing from that side, if you know where they're coming from, and you can even play this corner like that. And then also, we all love this back truck. And you can sit on this, and you can stop anybody crossing pretty much. And then even if you want to play really deep, you can play back here, and then also you can play the tower, and that's going to stop anybody pushing from P2 across to P3, and you can pretty much lock down P3 pretty nicely. P4 is another money hill, I'd say. Personally, I like to sit on these sort of corners like this, and you can hold down places like the cliffside if they're pushing from there. and then you've got a nice little head glitch here. Just be warned, it can be hard to see someone crossing in like quite close like that, but you can use this as nice some cover. And then for the back, I recommend sort of playing maybe like a low angle like this and just sort of keeping it down. Just be wary of nades on this map. It is quite hard sometimes to watch the flank, but an out of zone spot could be up top. Don't see a lot of people playing it, but you can watch across that whole front, and you can even get a good angle down on that cliff side, but you will be able to shoot through this. And then from up top as well, you could technically watch the back push as well. Don't see a lot of people doing it. Then for another out of zone, maybe you could play this really back far angle here, and you could watch anybody flanking from cliff around that side there, or you could watch anybody pushing across the beach if they've made it in. Can be a hard one to push, like I say, but if you can get it on lock, it can be a good hill to get some time. So P5, you're going to want to play like a close corner like this. There's not the best to cover inside of this, but if you can just get on this, you know, hold off for a second whilst your teammates are helping you, get a couple kills and maybe switch position. And then another good corner would be this one. Hold down that whole side there. Ideal if somebody's pushing from towards the boat. And then also, I personally blow up these red barrels first, but you can sit in this corner here. They don't always check this one. Obviously, you don't have much cover if they're pushing from there. But if they push from this side, it can be ideal. But then watch out for the fire as well. I almost thought someone was shooting at me there. So out of zone, you could play the top of these boxes, because technically you're not in it. Watching over like that, you can watch over towards the boat. And if your teammates do get killed, you can quickly hop back on it. You can also play like a low angle, like inside here, watching anybody crossing. And then also up top, you know, there's multiple ways you could play this. You could sit inside of here, watching anybody crossing like that, or you could sit in any of these windows, watching anybody cross across there. And then even something like this, sort of low, this angle here, watching that front side, or you could use that head glitch that I spoke about in another video there, watching anybody pushing across mid. So there is a few different ways you can lock the P5 down. So let's get on to the different routes to take. So this top spawn by the tower to P1, personally I would like to chow this with an SMG. So I'll run straight up these stairs, be prepared for a gunfight. I'd probably chow this, or if no one's there, come straight to here, take them out like that. And then this works the same for both spawns, but if you didn't want to quite do that and maybe you got an AR, instead of going straight across there, I'd run straight across this way, and I will chow outer, so like so. And then from here you can sort of work the enemies, or you could play this head glitch, or you could play out wide like this and just sort of come back on yourself like that to help your team get the point. And if you're coming from the far spawn over this side towards the cliff side, then I would come from here, and then exactly the same pretty much. There's two different routes I'd take. So one, I'd come down off the cliff like that, straight up top, same as the other side, chow this. If not, come here, chow that. Or if you're not feeling as quite aggressive or confident, maybe run left instead towards the beach, and then play this little head glitch, because you will probably catch somebody running up there, and then play around the wide like so, and you should be able to help your team get on the point. So P1 to P2 is probably the shortest rotation, maybe one of the shortest in the game. If you got an AR, personally I would recommend running straight up top and then just sort of locking it down for your teammates, depending on which direction that the enemies are coming from. You can maybe sit up top, watch over it. If they're still at P1, then you can hold down different angles like that. But if you've got an SMG, then maybe it's probably best idea to run sort of straight down the stairs like we did before from there, and then just straight in and on top of the tank. But obviously the platform is up at the moment, so that's a bit of a fail. But if you can just get straight in here with an SMG, you should be able to get some good points on the board. P2 to P3, you're going to want to do this nice and early, so I'd come straight across mid like this towards this tank. Now, you can run straight for the point like that, but that can be a little bit dangerous. So if you're wanting somewhere with a little bit more cover, I'd probably go really wide, and maybe up through the building, and then just take it. So obviously you want to do this nice and early, but go around this top spawn, because it's going to allow your team to spawn as well on a good place. And then you can come all the way around and just get straight on that point, very nice and early. It's probably my favourite route from there. So around the building, round towards the sort of dock area, and then up like this. So P3 to P4, once again, you need to do this early, but I'd run around this sort of low beach side here and just play it really wide. You shouldn't really get taken out doing this route, but we'll see. Depends on how the enemies are sort of positioning themselves, but you should be able to just get right in here like that and just get set up and just prepare for the enemies to attack, and you should get the back spawns on that far corner by running this way. And then also, if you want to come from P3 to P4, then I'd recommend maybe going from here and pushing through mid. So you could, if you want a little bit of a faster route, then you could chow straight through here. And sometimes this is a safe route to run because they're still focused on P3. But if you can get here nice and early and set up once again and just prepare for those enemies really. It does always depend on how the enemies are playing as well, so bear that in mind. P4 to P5 is going to be a nice long rotation, but if the enemies aren't already beating you to it, you want to play across the top boat. It's going to be your sort of best bet, to be honest. Most cover, play out wide, and you should be able to get here before them and play one of the corners that I showed you before. Or maybe if you want to sort of just play a little bit safer, maybe the enemies have beaten you to it, you want to come similar route, but instead of going that way, you want to run off of this point here and then just play low, play through the bottom boat, and then I would expect to chow somewhere around here maybe, or just sort of check your corners as you're running. And you can play like a wide angle like this, or you could try maybe getting up top as well, so something maybe like this. Or if your enemies do already have it, then you can sit in a window, prepare for them to push over the boat, because that's the most common route, before you get onto the point and start capping. P5 back to P1 is going to be a nice fast rotation once again. So honestly, I would just play low like this, past the low boat and then up steps, and just try and beat the enemies to it, because a lot of the time it does fall on this if it's a close game, so you need to make sure you're here first. So, maybe sort of 20 seconds left, even 15 seconds, you want to just get yourself straight across mid, straight up to the top, and just get into one of the spots that I showed you early. Maybe get a lockdown. You could even play one of the outer zone spots if you wanted to, maybe watching around the back, or you could sit somewhere like this, watching them from there, because they are going to be coming. Or you could play the back spawn that I showed you for P3. You could make yourself, just get up here pretty much, just rotate. If the enemies are on it still, then you can let your teammates capture. But yeah, just some ideas. So guys, that's going to do it for today's video. I do hope you enjoyed. Like I said, leave any suggestions that you'd like to see, any game modes or maps that you want to see tips or tricks on. I'll happily make a new series like so. So we finished the Hardpoint one now, like I said before. But if you enjoyed, don't forget to leave a like, comment and subscribe for more, as it really helps out the channel. Slowly closing in on that 900 sub mark. Hopefully hit it by the end of this week. Really do appreciate you all. So, hope you all enjoyed. Hope you all have a good day. See you in the next one.